So 2 summers ago, a Spanish family came and stayed at our home in Sacramento, and today we are finally at theirs just outside of Madrid, Spain. And I have to say, it was totally worth 2 whole years of waiting. Hi, I'm Kristen, and today I'm going to take you inside this beautiful home. I'll show you everything we've been up to in and around Madrid, and I will make the case for why staying just outside of a major city might be the best travel decision you never knew you wanted to make. So let's go. So first, let me show you where we've been living for the past 5 days. One of my absolute favorite things about home swapping, and I say this every single time, is the neighborhood. You're not in a hotel, you're not in a tourist zone. You're in a real Spanish neighborhood where real Spanish people live their real Spanish lives, and I love that. This house is really cool. We're actually only using just a small part of the house, like the kitchen, the living room, and one of the bedrooms. I think there are like 4 or 5 bedrooms and a playroom and a beautiful outside space that backs up to this green area. It's been really great. We've made breakfast here every morning. We made dinner last night, which when you're traveling with carry-ons only and you're watching your budget, that's kind of a game changer. We've also been able to do some laundry, which is another necessity when you're traveling light. We've had plenty of space to spread out, get some work done. It's like having a real home base, not just a place to crash or one-room hotel. And this is the magic of a non-simultaneous exchange. If you're not familiar with that term, basically this family came and stayed at our house in Sacramento 2 summers ago, and now we're here. It's really nice because this isn't their primary home, so they had the flexibility to swap at different times, which is what made this trip totally possible. And I just have to mention, one of the things that I really love about home swapping versus renting is the personal touch. The owner, Begonia, sent me her list of favorite restaurants and the local grocery store that they shop at. It's more like staying with a friend than staying at, say, an Airbnb or definitely a hotel. Now let's talk about timing, because we happen to be here during Holy Week, which is a huge deal throughout Spain. We're talking like processions in the streets, businesses are closed, restaurants closed. The city center was absolutely packed with international tourists who were on spring break. And honestly, we were so grateful to be staying just outside of the city. We kind of had the best of both worlds. We could drive about 20 minutes to the nearest metro station. We would hop on a train and then be in the heart of Madrid within minutes. And when we were done, we got to come back to this quiet, beautiful neighborhood and just decompress. It was perfect. So if you're planning a trip to Madrid and you're wondering whether to stay in the city center or a little bit outside, I would tell you from experience, don't underestimate the suburbs, especially if you're doing a home exchange, and definitely if you have a car. So another big perk of having a home base that's just outside of the city is that you could be more of a hub traveler, which is exactly what we did. Aside from exploring Madrid proper, we took a couple of great day trips to areas that had really rich history and were completely different. Our first day trip was to Segovia. It's about an hour's drive from where we're staying, and the drive itself was gorgeous. Rolling hills, Spanish countryside, even the drive is worth it. And then you arrive in Segovia, where you absolutely cannot miss the main attraction, a gorgeous castle that's said to be one of Walt Disney's inspirations behind the Cinderella Castle that you see at Disneyland. And when you see it in person, you completely understand why. It sits on a rocky ridge, and it's really amazing just to wander through. We did a self-guided audio tour, which made it really easy to check out kind of at our own pace. And we were able to learn a lot more about the castle, the town, and the whole region with this audio tour than we would have if we were just walking around on our own. Also, if you're a fan of cheesy Christmas movies like I am, you can't help but think of one that was on Netflix a few years ago, A Christmas Prince, which takes place in the fictitious European town of Aldovia. Aldovia, Segovia, I know. We also made a quick day trip to Avila, and if Segovia is the dramatic one, Avila is the serene opposite. It's a quieter kind of beautiful. The thing that really defines this city are its walls, medieval city walls that are said to be among the best preserved in all of Europe, and honestly, they are stunning, as are the gorgeous cathedrals and just meandering the streets that make its way through the old historic part of town. Avila is actually a World Heritage City and such a lovely contrast to the bustle of Madrid. And then, just because I wanted to show you how diverse this region really is, we also laced up our hiking boots one morning and went for a hike. There's this easy 4-mile loop trail that's just about 20 minutes from where we're staying, and it was a really perfect way to spend a few hours, to get a little exercise after all of our eating, and to just get outside. Beautiful scenery, fresh air, a great reminder that Madrid isn't just a city. The surrounding region has so much more to offer, from medieval castles to cathedral towns to hiking trails, all of that within an hour of our front door. But the highlight of the entire trip for me, a paella and tapas cooking class. One of our favorite things to do in any new city is to learn about the food. And it's never just like a bar tour or a cooking class. It's more like a delicious history lesson. And this one did not disappoint. Our chef, Arantxa, is Cordon Bleu-trained, and she was awesome. She was so much fun. The class started with a tour of one of Madrid's local markets. There are actually 42 authentic markets throughout the city. It's a whole different experience than going to the grocery store, which, by the way, I also think is kind of fun when you're in a different country. But the market had fresh everything. It's a whole experience just to walk through. From there, we headed to a beautiful kitchen space and we learned how to make a variety of tapas, including patatas bravas, gildas, croquettes, all of this while sipping wine and vermouth. And then after that, because that wasn't enough, then we made this chicken and pork paella that was absolutely incredible. We were all so stuffed when we left. Arantxa is with a tour company called Devour. I found her on Viator and I highly, highly recommend it. She also has a tapas and bar tour, which I hear is really good. So if you take nothing else from this video, take this. Book a cooking class in the next city that you visit. I promise you will not regret it. We always leave with new recipes, new friends, and a very full belly. And honestly, a deeper connection to wherever it is that we are. So after waddling around the city to work off all that paella, we took an open-top bus tour. And yes, I know that is ridiculously touristy, but here's my honest take. If you're in a new city and you want to get your bearings, you want to see a lot in a short amount of time, and maybe you want to give your feet a break after a lot of walking, the hop-on, hop-off bus tour is genuinely a great idea. You've got the audio guides that explain what you're seeing. The views from the top are always fantastic for photos. And it's just a relaxing way to see a new city. Sometimes I think it's okay to sit down and let the city kind of come to you. We saw landmarks I wouldn't have even known to look for otherwise. And we covered a lot in a short period of time. Doing all that on foot would have taken us days. So that's our Madrid home exchange, and honestly, this trip has reminded me of everything that I truly love about traveling this way. The neighborhood, this beautiful home, the flexibility, the freedom to actually live in a place instead of just passing through it. This exchange has been in the works for 2 years, like I said, and it was absolutely worth the wait. If you're curious about how home swapping works, I have a bunch of videos on this channel that'll break it all down, and I'll link some of them below. And if you're already a Home Exchange member, I'd love to know what's your favorite exchange that you've done so far. Tell me in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss our next exchange adventure. We are, of course, just getting started. See you on the next one.